Welcome to Chapter 1, Lesson 3, Rates. Let's take a look at some new vocabulary that we may see throughout this lesson. As we complete this on here, you should also complete this in your book along with us. Let's start by completing the chart on the left-hand side, looking at our first term, fraction. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole, which I'm sure you've heard before, or part of a set. They provide a few examples there. On the right, you'll see 1/2, 3/4, 9/12, or 45/3. All of those are examples of different fractions, or different parts of a whole, or parts of a set. Our second key term is a ratio, which was just introduced to us in Lesson 2. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities by division. And remember, a ratio can be written in three different ways. So you'll see 2 out of 3, which was often used to describe the meaning of a ratio, and then the three different ways that a ratio is shown. 2 to 3, or 2 to 3 with the colon in between, or 2 to 3 as a fraction. A rate is a new term in this lesson. A rate is a specific type of ratio comparing two quantities with different kinds of units. So in our examples, you'll see 36 miles to 3 hours, or 36 miles for every 3 hours, $26 for 5 bags, or 19 songs in 5 minutes. Notice for each of those that the units are different from numerator to denominator, or from one to the other in which you're comparing in the ratio. So in the first example, you can see that you have miles compared to hours. Same thing in the second example. In the third example, you have money compared to bags. And in the last example, you have songs compared to minutes. So you can clearly see that a rate is a ratio that compares two quantities with different kinds of units. Lastly, a unit rate. That's a special kind of rate. So it's a rate that is simplified, just as we can simplify a fraction, so that the denominator, so it has a denominator of 1. So you can see the examples of 12 miles to 1 hour, or 12 miles per hour, or $5.20 for 1 bag, or 3.8 songs in 1 minute. So these examples all actually come from the examples up above about a rate. So it's basically taking these rates and simplifying them. So if you were to take 36 miles to 3 hours and simplify it by dividing both by 3, you would get 12 to 1, or 12 miles to 1 hour. Same thing if you were to simplify $26 for 5 bags, or divide 26 divided by 5, you would get $5.20 for 1 bag. You'll see this in more detail as we go through the examples together.